you're connected to your body, you're no longer listening to the dictates of culture. Okay. You're actually listening to your body. You're connected with your truth, with who you really are. That's why when you see children look in the mirror, they love themselves. They're awesome. They're just awesome because they're still connected to their body. What happens as you get older is being connected to your body conflicts with what society is telling you. And often it's something unconsciously women give up to fit in, to be accepted, to be successful in the culture.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Beyond Beauty Project. I am your host, Bridgett Burrick Brown, and today I am here with Dr. Sura Devi. She is in private practice at NALU Chiropractic and is passionate about women's health and healing. She specializes in fertility, pregnancy, postpartum, and motherhood. In addition, she offers divine sisterhood trainings and retreats to help women connect and stay connected to their authentic selves. She believes it is a great honor to be a woman, love this, and is passionate about feminine embodiment practices and the great good this brings to a woman's entire being and life. I am so excited that you are here today. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
I feel really honored to be here. And I just love that you're sharing your gifts with the world on a bigger scale.
Yeah. So to give everyone a little history, I met Dr. Sura, 5 years ago, and I was having horrible migraines and I was trying everything. And I remember the first time I got adjusted, I left being like fully in awe with you. And the fact that I didn't, because I think I had a headache at that point for like 5 days. I was like really chronic. And I walked out like almost crying, like, oh my God, I don't have a headache right now. And since then, oh God, you've given me like so much of my life, and your treatments aren't just chiropractic, they're just spiritual and beautiful. And so I'm so excited.
Thank you so much, Bridgett.
Okay, so we're going to dive right in.
Okay, great.
First question that I ask everyone, and I would love to know how you would define beauty.
Well, beauty for a woman, I believe, is a woman that's connected to her spirit, and that light shines from within outwards. And part of that is a woman who loves and accepts herself fully, which means the messy parts, the awesome parts, all of it. And because of that, other people feel loved and accepted in her presence.
Oh, that's the best. It's so true. It's like that whole, like when you shine, you give others the right to do the same. So cool.
You know, I don't know if you ever saw this Twilight Zone episode, but it's a really beautiful actress. And the episode, everyone in the episode thinks she's ugly. And every time they see her, they're like, they like gasp at her, and they're trying to give her surgery to make her more beautiful.
Oh my God.
And meanwhile, you're watching the episode and you're like, she's beautiful. Like, what's going on? Like, what do the other people look like? Because you don't get to see what they look like. And at the end of the episode, you see that all the people have pig noses and they're really deformed looking. And the point of the episode was, in society's standards, that woman wasn't beautiful. They were beautiful.
Oh, I have to look that up.
Oh, it is such a powerful episode because there's so many different like cultures, and there's just beautiful is like, there's so many different types of beauty.
Yes.
And then, you know, the culture, the society says there's one type. This is what it looks like. And then it puts so much pressure on women to conform, but really they're beautiful. Like be unique, be different,
Be unique, be different, 100%. It is like embracing your uniqueness. Okay, so before we get into all the juicy stuff that you have to share with us, I would love to share with our audience your journey to becoming a chiropractor and a soul coach. Can you share that with us?
Sure. I was like career-wise, I didn't feel like a really strong calling. But I was just kind of like, when I got out of school, like, how can I make money as fast as possible? And somehow
how can I get out of debt?
Right. So somehow this got me into the world of the corporate world. And the longer I did it, like, I just remember like the alarm would go off and I wouldn't want to wake up. Like it would be like another day. And I started having a lot of symptoms. So even though I was making this great salary, I was really using like all the money for holistic care. And finally, I realized like my symptoms were really connected to my unhappiness in my life. And they were asking me to do something, like make a change. This isn't working for you. And, for me, it took me a while because, change is scary. It's what I knew. I didn't see any other options. But it got to the point where it was so painful, I had to make a change. And I had to say yes to my biggest love, which was chiropractic. It was helping me the most out of that time, even though like I loved yoga and Pilates and all these different things. So,
yeah.
And then it's just been like, now it's ever since I said yes to my true calling, to me, that's like real abundance and happiness.
Yeah.
To love what you do and to care about it and to continue to want to be better at it and serve.
And did you start, because I love that you're a chiropractor and soul coach, because I feel like when I come to you, that's what I get. And you really help probably all of us, but women like embrace that and see that. Did you start with the chiropractic and then did that sort of start naturally happening, or?
Yes. Well, what was happening on the table is people were coming to me in physical pain. But as they were getting more connected to their bodies and to themselves, they were starting to have different types of experiences, their spiritual experiences, or big emotional releases, or a real shift in how they think, different patterns, letting go.
I'm curious just your thoughts on symptoms and like the messages they send to us.
Symptoms, just like you said, are they're messages from the body. So the first thing I really learned about symptoms is it's your body calling you to connect. So it might be your physical body, it might be your emotional body, it might be your mental body, it might be your spiritual body. And it usually means stop, pay attention, connect, and do something different. So, like, for example, sometimes women come in with low back pain. And what I've noticed is sometimes they're not feeling supported. So the low back has to do with support. And it's not a definite rule, but it's often sometimes with their partner. Okay. Yeah. They're actually they're saying the body's telling you, I need more from my partner. I need to ask for more. It's okay to get more. I don't have to be so independent or whatever. I need to make a change here. Or sometimes and I see this more with men, it's financial support. It's like career stress,
Yeah, my husband.
Louise Hay is the best. She wrote a book, You Can Heal Your Life. And she has you can look up anything. Knee pain is often about fear, something in your eye. What am I not looking at? What don't I want to see? Lungs, grief.
Oh, remember after I lost my dad, remember I came in and I had a horrible lung infection and you would just like pound on my back. We would like break it up and like, Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember you telling me then, and I was like, huh? And then I started getting it,
Oftentimes we're getting the poison out of relationships. We're detoxing a relationship, a job, a way of thinking, a way of being. And sometimes you'll be in bed with symptoms like a headache for days or anything. You'll get sick because it's like, why did you get sick now? Like, what? You didn't get a cold when everyone else was sick. Why did you get a cold?
Yeah, I feel like this explains the, stress makes you sick. We throw that a lot. We throw that around a lot in society, but I don't think people really understand it.
Exactly. And then I'll go more into that stress, like what's the stress? Is it that you don't have boundaries to set time to take care of yourself? Or is it stress that you're in a job that isn't right for you? Like what's, dig deeper. So there's physical aspects, there's emotional aspects, there's mental aspects, there's spiritual aspects to all of these things.
That when a woman is more connected to her body or more embodied in her body, that helps improve her life.
Definitely. Because the body, well, Clarissa Pinkola essays in Women That Run with Wolves, which is a great book. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
She talks about things that women have to regain that they've lost, that like the society kind of programmed it away from them.
Okay.
And one of them is your intuition and your voice and your power. There's so many. So what happens when you're connected to your body, you're no longer listening to the dictates of culture. Okay. You're actually listening to your body. You're connected with your truth, with who you really are. That's why when you see children look in the mirror, they love themselves. They're awesome. They're just awesome because they're still connected to their body. What happens as you get older is being connected to your body conflicts with what society is telling you. And often it's something unconsciously women give up to fit in, to be accepted, to be successful in the culture.
Yep.
Another thing that comes from the body is your intuition, your gut feeling, and that gut feeling, it tells you which direction to go in life or not to go. It also tells you which people are good for you and which aren't. And when you silence your intuition from being disconnected to your body, it becomes quieter and quieter and quieter. So it's harder to hear. So let's say you have to make a decision. The person experiences a lot of confusion, but really, when you're connected, you get the hit and you trust it. And the best is seeing kids, because kids have it.
Yep. Yeah.
And
they haven't lost it yet.
They have not. They'll say, "Mommy, I don't want to hug that person. I don't like that person." Or, they'll just, things like that.
Yeah. It's interesting. The intuition on people, because sometimes if I'm around someone that maybe is just not a fit for me, I'll feel very confused, and I can leave the interaction just feeling like, why do I feel so confused? And then when I process it, I'm usually like, you know what? It's not intuitively, it's not a fit, but
that's a good sign. I think confusion. And that's the best thing, is to process it. Is you didn't just ignore it. You're like, why did I feel confused around that person? And then you start revealing, or with me, it's like, I knew it the first time I met that person, but I overrided it for some reason. Yeah. And then you do that enough times, you're like, okay, my intuition is getting stronger and stronger, and I'm getting more connected to myself, and I'm honoring myself and all of that, loving myself more.
Do you have tips on how to get in touch with our intuition?
Well, yeah, I would say the biggest thing is body work, is some type of body work. Okay. So I love chiropractic. It's my favorite, but I also love acupuncture. I love massage. Find the things that help you connect with your body. Okay.
And why?
Because the body will tell you. that gut feeling, you'll feel it in your body. If you don't like someone, you'll immediately start to protect yourself. You might put arms, your stomach might hurt. Like, people get it in different ways, but the body is like full of senses. It is like always speaking to you.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I love yoga. I love Pilates, like all these different things. Now, what I see a lot, and these are the women that come to my practice, is they're yogis, they're into the Pilates, but they haven't connected to their spirit. They haven't allowed it, because it's scary. If you connect with your spirit, it's probably going to tell you to make some changes.
Yeah. I was just thinking that. I was just thinking, like, maybe, can you tell us some ways to connect to our spirit better?
One of the things to connect with your spirit is, those body work, those will help you, okay? Because now you're in your body. And now connecting to your spirit is, my favorite is goddess practice.
And can't wait to talk about that.
And you are the ultimate beauty goddess, Bridgett.
Oh my God. You are.
So what happens is, when I started to connect with my spirit, right? That started getting awakened. It had been quiet for a long time. I started awakening, but I looked in the culture, and there weren't examples of spiritual, powerful women that I saw. Like, I was kind of raised with Jesus and Buddha and Mohammed. Like, I knew about all these like powerful men.
Totally. That's so true.
But there was no one I could relate to, there was no one. So the goddess, really what the goddess is the divine feminine, which is the feminine part of you, which is the sacred part of you, which is your spiritual part, but as a woman. And men it doesn't matter what sex you are, you can connect with gods and goddesses no matter what sex you are. But it's especially important for women, because for me, it was the most important, because I needed an example. Like, I had to know I can acknowledge the divinity in me by seeing another woman, So let's see. So the goddess practice is awesome. You can meditate on the goddesses. I would start by just seeing which ones you're attracted to. Like, I loved growing up the Greek goddesses. And then when I got into yoga, I loved the Hindu goddesses. They talk about those goddesses in yoga class, like Kali and Durga and Lakshmi. Yeah. Some people love, which I do too, I love Mary, and maybe the Catholic religion won't call her a
Mary.
goddess.
Yeah.
But Mary Magdalene, they're the feminine in the divine way. So you can pray to them, you can chant to invoke their help, you can write letters to them, you can set up an altar, because really it's like with the goddesses, they're out there, they're these beautiful, powerful energies that can help us and assist us, but there are also aspects within us. So it's like activating, calling on that divinity within you to help you.
That like power fire inside of you.
Exactly. And there's goddesses
I felt that.
There's goddesses for everything. There's the fiery, powerful ones, and then there's the beautiful ones.
So how do we awaken or discover the goddesses within us?
One is knowing that you're not bad. There's a part, you are divine. And what I see with a lot of women is they carry a lot of shame. Shame, like, and it's even like, you can ask yourself, where do I carry shame in my body? And you might feel it. You might see it. Where do I carry guilt? Yeah. And all of these come from like feeling I'm not good. I'm bad. So I think even starting at the most basic level of like forgiving yourself, loving yourself, releasing things you're embarrassed about, can put you in a state of welcoming, wow, there's a part of me that's divine. That means there's a part of me that's like goddess powerful. Yeah. And what happens really is, I think the goddess comes to you. She starts to reveal herself to you.
Oh, I want her to come to me.
Oh, she is with you, girl.
Okay.
Yes. Anytime you're doing a powerful thing right now for women.
Yeah.
with Beyond Beauty. And to me, the goddess is in lots of things. It's in your own path. Exactly. And you can see the goddess in movements like the Me Too movement. And actually, I even think Kamala Harris getting elected, because I had not watched the election like when they were debating. So I wasn't that familiar with all the women of who was going to be vice president, but I saw a whole list and I was like, I wonder who it's going to be. Let's see if I can like intuitively pick it. And I saw that Kamala's middle name is Devi, which is Devi, which means goddess.
So funny.
So I was like,
wait, oh, no way.
Yes. So I was like, oh, it's going to be her.
Wait, is your last name? That is so cool. Sura
Isn't
goddess.
That cool?
Yes.
Yeah. So the goddess. So right now, what's going on is, the women have been suppressed for so long. So there is a goddess power. There's a story in Hinduism about the goddess Durga. And what happened is the evil took over the world. And when they did a spell where no god could defeat them. So it's totally evil. Everything's backwards. And then finally, like a wise sage goes, but no one said a goddess couldn't defeat them. No one said a goddess couldn't bring the good back.
Why do you think women carry so much more shame than men? Like it just seems so like ancestral and like deep rooted. Yeah. And we're really like slaying things right now to try to move that. But why do you think we carry so much more? Would you say that we do?
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, there is misogyny in a patriarchy, which is hatred for women.
Yes.
So, and on top of that, the culture also teaches that you need all these things outside of yourself to be good.
Yeah.
So, but that misogyny undercurrent, that patriarchy undercurrent, it's not obvious, like consciously, if you're going through everyday life, but it is there.
I mean, when I think of just when we earned the right to vote, it's not that long ago.
I know.
Think about it. When you stop and you think about that date, you're like, wow.
Isn't that wild?
Mm-hmm. It is. Okay, let's go a little bit into the moon cycles, because I feel like that's connected, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone really is talking about the moons today, which I find fascinating, but I really never know like what I'm looking at. I'm just like, ooh, the moons and this. But so how is the moon related to the goddess, and what does that have to do with a woman's body?
Okay. So they say the moon, the moon is the goddess, okay? Because there's many aspects of the goddess, but the moon is feminine, and it has this power, right? And the moon cycles, like there's the full moon, the new moon. It cycles on the same number of days as a woman's menstrual cycle.
Interesting.
So when a woman is in tune with nature, it's who we are nature.
Yeah.
But the culture disconnects us. So when we connect back with ourselves and we connect back with nature, our cycles are in sync with the moon, which means you're either using the full moon to help you with your spiritual development, or you're using the full moon's energy to help you with fertility.
Okay.
So that means, in one cycle, the red moon cycle, you're bleeding with the full moon. And they said in ancient cultures, like when a woman was bleeding, she was like sacred and holy, and the blood was like used in ritual, because they say that's you're most connected to the divine. And the full moon is like the most powerful. It's just give you power. So you're using that time with the full moon's energy to help you grow and connect.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
If you're ovulating with the full moon, you're using that full moon energy to help you become fertile, to help your fertility and help you get pregnant. So the funny thing is I would always bleed with the full moon, which I knew I'm really into my personal growth and spiritual development. And And a month after I met my now husband, my cycle changed. And suddenly I was ovulating at the full moon.
Stop it.
So I was like,
That's
I
so
guess
cool.
my body decided that he was the one to get pregnant with. Like, I couldn't believe how intelligent the body is.
Yeah.
It switched it that fast. It was like either a month or
So
two.
1 month or two after you met him.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then I knew.
And you were really regular?
Yes.
Huh. That's really cool.
This episode of the Beyond Beauty Project is brought to you by Spoken Point, virtual acupuncture to improve mood, sleep, sex drive, digestion, fertility, and more. Use code BBP20SP for 20% off your order.
They say, like, to become more psychic and more intuitive, spend time looking at the moon, and you'll start connecting. That part of you will start awakening.
Oh, I want to do that. And that's such an easy thing you can do.
It's kind of mesmerizing, isn't it? Like, there's a power, but you don't really get it. It's like mysterious.
Well, and a lot of times when you think about connecting with nature, you think of during the day, I think of going on a hike or walking on the beach, but God, it's so beautiful to stare at the stars or look at the moon, Do you think that a goddess practice, or like a greater connection to our spirit helps us feel more beautiful?
Mm-hmm. Yes, because we innately know we're beautiful. We innately are beautiful. It's only the wounds that tell us it's not, or the programming that tells us we're not.
Enough.
So if you could do a goddess practice to help yourself heal your wounds around that. I mean, the teenage years are brutal.
Yep.
As far as fitting in and things like that. So you could write a letter to, there's different goddesses of beauty. In Greek goddess, it's Aphrodite, and in Hindu, it's Lakshmi. She's the beauty. And you can start praying to them or chanting to them or writing them letters and asking them to help you feel more beautiful. And what you'll see is how the goddess works is suddenly you'll have a memory of, like, when these kids were making fun of you, and it'll be like, oh, let me heal that part. Let me go back to that part of me and tell her she's beautiful, that these kids are just being mean. And I don't have to carry that in my body anymore. I can let that go. I can let that wound go. And then a new insight's going to come in, and it's like, oh, I should look in the mirror every day and tell myself I'm beautiful. Oh, okay. And you start doing that. Or maybe I should rub some oils on my stomach because I've carried so much judgment to my stomach all my life, and just really apologize to my stomach and tell my stomach I love it and I love you and I'm beautiful. It's like these simple things, but it's like we have to do our own inner to combat what's coming at us, which is telling us we're not beautiful and we need this and that and that and that to become beautiful.
Yeah, you totally made me tear up. God, it all comes back to feeling good on the inside.
Totally.
And the goddess practice helps us really connect with that power. And I feel like that power that women have inside of them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I want to acknowledge you, Bridgett, because if you don't mind.
God, don't make me cry though. I'm already crying from you. I'm like, okay.
I don't know if people know how much you've done behind the scenes to be a beautiful person inside and out. And the reason right now you're doing something powerful and you're promoting other women, you're lifting other women up, and you're doing it for others.
Yes.
You're doing it in this goodness. But that comes from feeling good. To do something good like that, you have to feel good to do that.
Yeah.
And people can look at you because you're a model and just go, oh, she's pretty, she's beautiful. By society's standards, Bridgett's beautiful. But I have never seen someone so dedicated to their healing and so consistent and structured, especially even as a new mother. How much you took care of yourself, and not just physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And whatever you were faced with, you always, to me, you took it and you worked with it and you allowed it to like bloom forward, transcend, and create this life that you're doing now. So I think it's important because people see successful people and they don't realize that they're doing this behind closed doors.
This like deep inner work of healing and transcending the wounds and
And Bridgett, why I would like to really acknowledge you is because people see successful people and they don't realize how much inner work they're doing themselves behind the scenes, and how they're using what life makes them, and instead of becoming bitter, they're becoming better, and that they actually have a team that's helping them, supporting them physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And it takes courage to do that kind of work. Healing takes courage. It's not the easy path. Like, it's hard work. But it's also the easy path because it's the way to being in a place where you can feel good. And now look what you're doing. You're helping others feel good.
Thank you so much. That was just the sweetest. And it's funny because I do say I have a team. I'm like, I have Susan, my therapist. I have you as my, like I have my team that helps me release the stuff and keeps me in alignment. But I don't feel like I would feel the way I do without any of that.
Right.
100%.
Even though you're on this platform right now and you created it out of it looks like thin air, right? I just created it. I went for it. No, it's the fruit of all that inner healing and that transformation and that awakening that happened.
And pain, I feel like beautiful things can come from a lot of pain. So if you're listening right now, like, God, there was so much pain that was also like in the birth of this. That I did, that I wanted people to know that there was a place to go to heal, whether it's, your symptoms in your back or your eating disorders or your body dysmorphia, there's so much. There's so much help out there.
It's about getting real with yourself.
Yeah.
Are you really ready to face your stuff, face the pain and work through it? The only way is through it. And, and I know Bridgett, I know a lot of things look perfect in Bridgett's life, but she's dealt with hard life things. And she used all of those things to help herself grow and be a happier and healthier person. So, and it benefits her family, and now it benefits all of us because, it's allowing her to do more good in the world.
You're the sweetest. I love you. I just love you.
I mean it.
What do you think healing being from the inside out means to you?
It means exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, right.
Instead of so what the culture is saying is you need outside in, right? You need that new car, you need
new
that
cream.
Exactly. You need all these things to make yourself feel better, look better, all of that. But healing on the inside out is when you know that you're the healer and you can heal yourself, but it's going to be a process where you go in.
Take your control back.
Yeah, it's empowering. To me, it's empowering. And I always tell people that on the first visit, like, chiropractic honors that you're the healer, but we're just addressing the disconnect. We're helping you connect so then your body can heal and you can heal your life. So, and people always like that. Like, they always their light goes on in their eye because they know it's true. They know it's true, and it's empowering. To think it's outside of yourself means you're always depending on something outside of yourself, and that's not real power. That's not real healing.
You talk a lot about womb healing or womb awakening. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. Well, it's in line with the goddess practice because it comes from a desire as a woman to really connect with her spiritual power and her power to manifest. So as women, we know when we're pregnant, the baby's in the womb, right? And that baby's in the spirit world. So it's our connection with the spirit world. But often what else is in the womb is our power power to manifest anything, whether it's a new job or a relationship or anything, a healing miracle. It's really about connecting with the sacred power in the womb. And the womb, it's like a vortex that it's not only the feminine empowerment, it also is the feminine empowerment with all of us, because we're connected. Like Bridgett, me and you can connect womb to womb. We can connect with the womb. I know this is going to sound crazy, but we can connect with all the women behind us, in front of us, all the women that are here right now. And it's a real, there's a lot of wounding around the womb because there's a lot of feminine wounds in our culture when you're living in a patriarchy. People have trauma there, and some of the trauma is from their own life, and some of the trauma is passed down from their mother's lineage.
Yes.
And some of the trauma is collective.
Okay.
So even though they didn't have something really bad happen to them around the womb and their sexuality, they can feel it in the culture.
So what kind of, give us examples of what could cause trauma to the wound?
Yeah. So rape, often it can go from extreme birth trauma.
Yeah.
Miscarriages.
And there's varying degrees of rape,
Exactly. And there's like even workplace, how you're treated as a woman, if it's not equal,
Yeah. So all of that sort of gets downloaded into our womb as well. It doesn't just have to be sexual.
Yeah. And even the goddesses being kind of hidden from our culture for so long.
Yeah. The witches back in the day.
Exactly. That hurts our womb.
Got it.
So, and the thing is, because of the boys are in the woman's womb when that 9 months, they feel it too.
Yeah.
So really, it's hurting all of us.
All of us.
It's all of us. It's like real power, because the power to birth a baby is incredible. And that's only one facet of it.
Yeah. It's like power and sacredness. I love that you use those two words to describe it. Do you think the rise of divine feminine is happening now?
Yes. It's happening, because it's just like you said, Bridgett, how people are more into the moon now. That's a sign of it. And goddess culture is becoming more popular, and people are going back to meditation. So they're connecting with themselves, with their spiritual side. So that's allowing that divine feminine to rise up. And we see it, just like we said, we see it in movements like Me Too. And women are getting, just now today in New Zealand, they're now giving,
I saw that.
If you have a miscarriage,
they're giving paid leave for miscarriage.
Yeah. So good things. So with all of that, we do see good things happening for women emerging, which is good.
We're waking up and we're using our voice.
Exactly. And it's not to lead, it's to be equals, because the most beautiful light comes from when the divine feminine and the divine masculine is united.
Let's stick with that for a second, because I think with like the word feminist gets a bad rap. And explain that it's not about us ruling. It's about us. What would you say to that?
I would say goddess practice is like a sacred feminism. And for me, what feminism means is love of women. So a man can be a feminist, anyone, whatever gender, all genders, love of women. And I think we look back on those women who had to fight and be like that, because we don't know what they had to go through just to get into that boardroom. And they had to be, I think they had to be tough. My feeling is they had to be like that to get there. And like the women who got the right to vote, they starved themselves. They would do these hunger strikes to get power, to get people to pay attention. So because of them, we don't have to be feminists in that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did some heavy lifting for us.
We don't have to be as extreme.
Yes.
They did do heavy lifting. Thank you.
They did heavy lifting. Yeah. And also part of the patriarchy is to make them look bad so that we don't want to be a type of woman that's unattractive and advocate for women's rights.
Are you ready for my Beyond Beauty round?
Yes.
So you don't have to be so quick when you answer, but the questions they're not going to all be related. Okay. First one is, where do you think confidence comes from?
Okay. I think some types of confidence you're born with it. It's an innate.
Me
and
too.
Some types of confidence, that's like the little girl who looks in the mirror and she loves herself. She loves walking around naked, like confidence.
Yeah.
And some confidence comes with experience. So you just have to do something a lot of times to get good at it, or until you feel some confidence comes with experience.
Do you think that confidence that's innate is our spirit?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so how do you think as individuals we beautify the world, or we can beautify the world?
By allowing your light to shine, and that alignment that comes from being connected with your true self and your spirit, and then sharing your gift with the world. Your being aligned to your purpose.
So it goes back to the beginning of like when you shine, you give others the permission to do the same.
Oh,
What is that Marianne Williamson poem? Oh, the first time I read that, I was like,
I know. It's so deep and so true.
It is. Okay. When would you say you feel the most beautiful?
Ooh, when do I feel? I feel the most beautiful in nature. Yeah. When I spend time in nature, I just feel the most grounded in my body.
Yeah.
I
in your spirit, divine.
My spirit. And I really think it helps you shine more. Like your aura looks brighter. You look brighter. You look healthier. You look more vibrant. You have vitality.
Yep. I agree. Do you have a favorite beauty product or wellness product, or like something yummy for us?
Well, my latest favorite product is, let's see, which one should I go with?
You can tell us a couple too. Okay. We don't mind.
I love flower essences because they have healing properties. You know how flowers are beautiful? Each flower has a different vibration. So what they do is they make these little potions out of the flowers, and you take a few drips, and it allows you those properties to heal you. Oh, wow. And you're adding that beauty vibration to you, or whatever healing property that plant or flower has. And then
oh, cool. I've never heard of that.
I love it. And it's subtle, but it's powerful. I love flower essences. And my favorite is Findhorn. It's a Scottish company. The other is lip conditioner, which is by a company, Truvani. And why I love this is I love her. She's called Food Babe on Instagram.
Yep.
She's really helping people get the chemicals out of their products. So
she really is.
Yeah, she's really good at educating people to read labels. So whatever you put on your skin or your hair or even your nails, obviously what you put in what you eat, if there's chemicals in it, it's going to affect your body. And it's going to disrupt your hormones. It's going to, like, autoimmunity right now is like through the roof. And my feeling on it is it's from these chemicals in our products and our food. Okay. So I think it's really, I remember the moment I realized, I'm like, wow, if I put a lotion on me that goes in the skin, in my bloodstream, and now those chemicals are in there, I was like, so it really behooves each of us to become educated. So we ask the companies to make more natural products. Yeah. Yep. And where we spend our money, they see that, they see that. Yeah. So a lot of them, what they're doing is they act like their product is organic with labeling, and she's so good at pointing that
marketing.
out.
Yep.
The marketing, but we have to, if the more educated we are and the more we ask of it, will have,
Yeah, it's really not regulated. Our beauty products are not regulated at all. So they can put on things like organic or natural, and it doesn't mean anything.
exactly. And also the cruelty on animals. You can ask, you can see, support the products that are cruelty free.
Yes, 100%.
Because
Yep.
it's just not necessary to torture animals.
No, cute little animals.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your favorite inner or spiritual ritual?
My
Like inner
favorite,
beauty or
I love prayer.
yeah,
And lately I pray the rosary and
love.
or meditation. And I really feel like I like I feel like before I pray or meditate, I look like scrambled. And afterwards, I feel like
Mm.
I actually feel like I look better. Like,
That's so interesting. Okay, what's always in your purse product wise, wellness wise? Like what do you not leave home without?
okay, rose water. I love rose water.
Like the spray?
Yep, the
Okay.
spray. And there's a lot of beauty reasons that people use the roses. But for me, even if I just spritz it, I immediately feel like refreshed. And
Mm.
I don't know, it's my thing. I love it. I love how it smells and it feels good.
Yeah, it smells amazing. I love rose water. I have some right there. Okay, what do you have a most inspiring book that you can recommend?
Ooh, I'm
You
going to
mentioned one
say,
earlier.
oh yeah, I mentioned 2 books. So I'm going to say You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay
Okay.
and Women That Run with Wolves, Clarissa Pinkola Estes.
Okay. That one I need to read. You
That
have been
one's a good
talking about that since I met you. Something you are grateful for right now.
Ooh, wow. I'm pregnant, so
I
I'm very
didn't know if you wanted to say that or not. So
grateful.
I was like dying to say it a couple times and I was like, I'll let her say it.
I'm very, very grateful to be pregnant. You know, I'm
Oh,
starting to feel some beauty challenges that like feelings from when I was a teenager of like, oh my God, I'm gaining weight.
yep.
Um, and I'm not feeling pretty and I'm feeling like my
Aw.
body's out of control.
Yeah.
But I'm just having to go back to the practices of it's actually beautiful to carry a baby, and I wanted this for
Yes.
a long time, and I accept that my body's changing. And once
Mm-hmm.
I say that I accept it, I usually feel a big weight off.
Yeah.
And knowing I'm
It's
beautiful through this change. So
yep. I definitely had that struggle and I feel like so many women. I'm having a doula come on and we're going to talk a lot about that, about just
oh great.
accepting because it can be hard and we don't talk about it enough. We just
I
think like
know.
pregnancy is going to be beautiful and you're going to feel amazing but it's hard to see your body change, especially as women when we're taught to like fit in the box of, you know, how to look. So
It's really
I
hard.
relate with that. What is something you're inspired by right now?
I'm inspired by you, Bridgett. I'm inspired.
My
I
God, I love
am.
you.
I am because you're talking about beauty on a deeper level, and it's very needed right now.
Oh, I love it.
And you're speaking from your heart, and people are hearing it in their hearts. And
Yeah.
it takes a lot of courage, discipline, guts, everything to take the leap and to do something like this. So it just inspires me. It's
Thank
very
you.
inspiring.
Thank you. Okay, final question.
Okay.
If you could go back in time and tell your younger self something about beauty, confidence, self-acceptance, any body
Mhm.
image, what would you tell her?
Well, I would tell her that she's already beautiful, which by the way, she knows because she's still young.
Yeah, exactly. True.
and and that the world is going to try to take your confidence away and the self-acceptance away. But it's kind of
Mm,
like it's a plant. Like think about how you have to water a plant every day. So my advice is every day to look in the mirror and tell yourself that you love and accept yourself. This is from Louise Hay, that you're confident no matter what they say, no matter what they do. It's an inside, you get to decide. And every day, water yourself with those loving thoughts. And it will just make everything so much easier, because to get anything done, you really need self-love and confidence and self-acceptance, or it's like complete torture.
Yeah, it's true. I love to tell her that like the world or society is going to try to take it away. So you have to keep it. That's your job. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Bridgett.
Tell my listeners where they can find you so they can learn more.
Great. I'm at Nalu Chiro, so NALUCHIRO.com, or ourdivinesisterhood.com. And those will link you up with my Facebook and Instagram and phone number and email and all of that good stuff.
Thank you so much. I love you.
Thank you, Bridgett. Love you too. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Show it off, every curve, every part, yeah. 'Cause I'm strong and I love